If it isn't safe for you, it isn't for you. I've got 4 simple questions to help you decide whether to offer a holy yes, a holy no, or take a holy pause and do it without guilt. Hi, I'm Tammy Jackson, and I help Christian women create full and fulfilled lives. Fulfilled living is a holistic way of life. It's about healing our souls, freeing our spirits, and nourishing our bodies. Knowing when to say yes and when to say no keeps the good things from God from being crowded out of our lives. In the next few minutes, I'm going to teach you the S.A.F.E filter, and you'll be able to start using it on the very next request that you receive. You may be wondering why I call them holy yeses, nos, and pauses. Holy just means set apart to God. And as disciples of Jesus Christ, we are set apart to God. Holy reminds us that we aren't seeking perfection. We are seeking alignment with the one who created us, redeemed us, and calls us for a particular purpose at a particular season in our lives. Pauses and nos can be just as much a part of God's plan for our life as the yeses can. But how do we know whether we're supposed to say yes or no to an opportunity or request? That's where the S.A.F.E filter comes in. S stands for safety, A stands for assignment, F is fruit, and E is energy. Let's look a little deeper at each one of those. Hey, I put this video and the others in this series in a Holy Boundaries playlist. You can tap that card to open it. Let's look a little deeper at each one of those. S stands for safe, and the question is this safe for me right now? You may get some requests that are literally physically dangerous for you. It takes you into an area or into a place where you might get hurt or mugged, but most of our requests are not that kind of safety. But there are other kinds of safety that we need to look at. When we are considering whether or not something is safe for us, we need to consider our physical health, our peace or our emotional health, and our key relationships. When it comes to your physical health, think about whether saying yes to this opportunity will rob you of the time that you need to sleep, to rest, to exercise, to eat well. In those cases, it's not safe for you physically. Other times a request is not safe for you emotionally. It disturbs your peace. In that case, it's not safe for you emotionally. And you also need to think about the health of your relationships. If this opportunity is going to damage your relationship with your children, with your partner, with your best friends, then it's not safe for you. It can also damage your relationship with the person who's making the request if it grows resentment in you. But a request can also damage your relationship with yourself when you betray your own boundaries and don't have time to take care of yourself. It can also damage your relationship with God if you fill your calendar so full of things that you don't have any time to nurture your relationship with God. If it harms your health, disturbs your peace, or damages a key relationship, then it's not safe for you. Remember that healthy boundaries are the ways you protect yourself and others. A stands for assignment, and the question is this my assignment? Is this consistent with the way God has wired me and for this season of my life? It can be a skills mismatch. Someone may be asking you to do something that is simply outside your skill set. You're not good at that, and so it's not a good place for you to serve. Maybe they're asking you to cook, and cooking is not your thing, or sewing, or cleaning. Maybe they're asking you to help with finances, and math is not your strong suit. Each of us has been given a gift of skills from God, and we need to use those gifts for His glory. We don't need to be apologetic about not having all the skills. So if something is a skills mismatch, then it may not be for you. But a request can also be a season mismatch. You may be asked to do a good thing, but it's not a good time for you. I was once invited to participate in a leadership cohort while I was taking doctoral classes. The leadership cohort was a wonderful opportunity, but it was not the right time for me. Something can be a good thing, but not good for you right now. Assignment beats obligation every single time. Don't lose sight of the fact that if this is not your assignment, it means it's somebody else's assignment. And if you say yes to it, you'll be depriving them of the opportunity for what is their assignment. F stands for fruit. And the question is, Does this produce the fruit in my life that I want? Does this help me move toward a personal development goal? Does this create in me a more Christ-like person? Does this bear the fruit of the Spirit? Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, meekness, and self-control? Or does it produce exhaustion, resentment, and depletion? Be sure that saying yes will produce the kind of fruit in your life that you want. You can be flattered that they asked you, but don't trade tomorrow's fruit for today's flattery. E is for energy, and the question is, do I honestly have the time and energy to do this task and do it well? This is about bandwidth, budget, and capacity. If your emotions are already on the edge, if your budget is already stretched to capacity, if you simply cannot imagine adding one more thing to your plate, then the answer to this question should be no. So our SAFE filter is this safe for me right now? Is this my assignment? Does this bear the fruit that I want to produce? And do I have the energy? If you're finding this video helpful, do me a favor and hit like. It'll tell YouTube to share this with other people who might need this information too. And if you want to save this for later, tap save and add it to your watch later list. So now that we've answered the questions, how do we use those answers to help us decide whether to give a holy yes or a holy no? Sometimes we answer all the questions with a yes. If so, then we can give a joyful and wholehearted yes to the request. Absolutely, I'll volunteer in the nursery this Sunday. It'll be so much fun. Of course I'll host the family for Christmas. I love doing that. I'm happy to lead that Bible study. No problem. Get me the materials. Other times we can't answer all 4 questions in the same way. What do we do then? If you answered yes to 1 or 2 of the questions, you might be able to renegotiate the terms of the request. See if there's a smaller role, a shorter time, or a later date. I can't teach the whole study, but I can teach 1 session of it. I can't volunteer in the nursery this week, but I can next week. I can't cook for the whole family for Christmas, but I can bring the desserts. But what if you said no to 3 or 4 of the questions? If that's the case, then the answer to the request or opportunity needs to be no. Sometimes you can answer these 4 questions on the spot in your mind and give the answer right then. Other times you need a little bit of time to consider them, to think about them, maybe even to talk it over with someone else. That's what we call a holy pause, asking for a little time to make the decision. Usually people will be willing to give you that time. If, however, they won't, you need to see that as a red flag. Their need may be immediate. They need somebody in the nursery right now. And if you can't do it, they need to move on and ask other people. But sometimes what they're doing is pressuring you. They think if they can force you to give an answer right now, you're more likely to make that answer yes. You need to flip the script on that. And if you are being pressured, make your default answer no. If it has to be now, then it has to be no for me. If you'd like a printable card with this SAFE filter on it, and a short breath prayer that you can use to settle your nervous system while you sit with God and answer the questions, then you're going to want to grab this week's email. The Becoming Fulfilled newsletter is my weekly practice companion to these videos, and you can subscribe to it by clicking the link in the description below. In my next video, I'll give you some exact language that you can use to ask for a holy pause or deliver your holy no. I'll even show you how to renegotiate a yes with better limits and healthier boundaries. Let's keep building these full and fulfilled lives. Until next time, I'm praying grace for your yeses, courage for your nos, and wisdom for your pauses. See you in the next video.